Hey guys, I'm Sarah and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing another indie book, and that is Hansel and the Gingerbread Queen by Leah Doue? Doue? It has an accent mark. I don't know. That's her name. This this is a fairy tale retelling of Hansel and Gretel, which is a Grimm's fairy tale. It's a pretty, I think a pretty well-known one. At least everybody knows about the part where the witch gets stuffed in the oven. At least that's how I knew it of, and the breadcrumbs leading to the forest, the trail. Anyways, that is part of it, and this is part of a novella series. This is called A Villain's Ever After. This is a series of standalone novellas retelling different fairy tales where the villain in the story is, the twist is the villain in the story gets a happily ever after too. So this is book 6 in the series. You do not have to read them in order. They are all standalones. They are all written by different authors. Some of them may have tie-ins to their own series. You'd have to do research on the individual books, but this one is book 6. This is a standalone. It has, as far as I know, no ties to anything else the author has written, and it is super cute, and this cover is gorgeous. I love the covers for this series. Sorry, once again, for the sticker, but it's a library book, so, and this one is really short. I was surprised at how tiny this one was. I mean, it's a novella and all, I know they're short, but this one just seemed really, really tiny to me, and I was a little concerned, going into this that, actually, I should probably tell you what the book's about first. Why am I talking about my thoughts already? I will tell you what the book's about. We are following Ebony in this story. She is the daughter of the witch. I'm assuming this would be like the witch from the original Hansel and Gretel retelling. But anyway, she is the daughter of the witch, and she doesn't have any magical powers at all. She doesn't have anything, and she has always lived in the forest in this candy cottage house that her mother built for them. She's always lived alone, and now that her mother has died, she wants to be free of it, but she can't as of now because she is she's trapped there by a living gingerbread man, who is rather creepy. She is stuck there, and she cannot go anywhere, and she's also trying to kind of rescue people. That's kind of a spoiler though, so I will just briefly say that, and she meets Hansel, who she first meets him in the first chapter, kind of in a village, but then he shows back up later, and then it is their story and her basic story of trying to get out of this situation and become a free person in her own right, not just constantly being called the witch, which she has to go under to keep herself safe and just to finally live as a regular human being in the regular world. So, okay, like I said, I can't give too much of a description because this thing is really short. I mean, it's barely, how many pages is it? If I could see, it's 116 pages. It's barely over 100 pages then. So, I mean, there's not much I can say without spoiling this one, so this is kind of going to be a shorter review, but I do know one thing I can say, and she has a tiny, I don't know if you can see him, there he is, the little he's a gingerbread cookie dragon friend. I mean, come on, he's a cookie dragon. Who doesn't want a tiny dragon as a friend? And he does talk. She has a couple brownie friends. I'm not sure exactly what brownies are. I know they're fantasy type creatures that they can disappear, and they're often very mischievous, and they're really attracted to like baking and stuff, because I know in other books they've been like enslaved as cooks, so they do a lot with food. I really need to find a book about like different fantasy creatures so I can know about them more in detail. It would be very helpful, especially as a fantasy author. It would be very helpful. But anyways, back to the book. This is her little friend Juniper here. He's a dragon, and yeah, he's part of the home candy mess thing with the house and stuff, and I thought this was really, really sweet. It was very sweet, I mean, ha ha ha, pun intended, without the candy and stuff. It was very sweet. If you really like candies and bakeries, pastries and stuff like that, you will probably get hungry reading this. There's a lot of great descriptions about that type of thing, and Yeah, you'll probably get hungry. I'm not the type to get hungry even by reading about food in books, so I didn't, but I can imagine a lot of people would. So, and there is that, and I was a little bit, to go back on what I was trying to talk about before I decided to tell you what the book was about briefly, I was afraid that these are all in this series, they're like romances, obviously, because the villain gets a happily ever after, and it's a fairy tale. So I was a little afraid that the romance would be very, very rushed and not believable since this book is, barely 100 pages. But it wasn't. It was actually done really, really well. I mean, some people might accuse it of having insta-love, but honestly, I can deal with insta-love in books. Shocker, I know most people don't really like that, but I can more so than other romantic type tropes because, I don't know, sometimes it can just work and I can overlook it, especially if it's done emotionally and well enough and they're not just like, oh, I'm just attracted to you because you look great, because you're really handsome or really pretty or something. It's a little bit more than that, but still kind of instant, if that makes sense. But anyways, so some people may say it has a little bit of that, but I didn't think it did. I thought it really gradually, happened for the time length that we had in this book. And it was very believable. It was very sweet. It was very cute. I enjoyed it a lot. Ebony and Hansel and the rest of their friends are really great characters. I thought they were very well developed for such a short book. And yeah, I enjoyed everything about it. Literally, the villain creeped me out. I will put in there that he doesn't do any. He is a gingerbread man, so he's a giant walking, talking cookie, who is basically keeping Ebony trapped. So it's kind of like that's just creepy. Yeah, I was just nervous about the whole thing of like, how is this gonna end? How are they gonna escape and stuff like that? And it's just, yeah, the gingerbread man doesn't do anything like really bad to Ebony. He does like get in her space occasionally and make her feel uncomfortable, but there's nothing like gratuitous or anything freaky. It's the implication of afterwards that could be the implication of what the gingerbread man wants that is really creepy. But yeah, if you want like further content details, I'll leave my Goodreads account below and you can find the review for this book there. I leave content warnings and stuff below at the bottom of my reviews. So yes, I super enjoyed this book. I really liked the friendships in them with the brownies and the dragon, and yeah, I really, really enjoyed that part. And also in regards to a fairy tale retelling, I thought this did very, very well with Hansel and Gretel. It put in the key elements, but it twisted them a bit. Like, for example, there is a trail of breadcrumbs that somebody does leave, but it's not breadcrumbs, they're glowing stones. And yeah, so it's interesting twists like that, or like Ebony's not really the witch, she's the witch's daughter. The gingerbread house is, yes, made of sweets, but if you eat it, you're like cursed. You're not, or you get transformed. You're not, you can't just eat it, and the witch will catch you. But, and yeah, it's just very different things like that. And the ending was very surprising. I liked the twist of the ending of how they got out and stuff. And I just thought overall it was a really sweet book, really, really fast reading. I finished this in like 2 to 3 days, I think. Something like that. It's very small after all, so I would think, yeah, if you have time, you could probably finish this in like a day. This author has written other fairy tale retellings. She writes the Firethorn Chronicles, I believe, is the series. There's 4 books out, I believe, on that one, and she's written also a Snow White retelling. Yeah, and they're all independently published as far as I know. Yes, so yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this book. I mean, honestly, what else can I say? It's small. It has a beautiful cover. It does the fairy tale of Hansel and Gretel justice. It even weaves in Gretel in a certain way. Just in case you're curious about that, because in case you read the back and you're like, why isn't Gretel mentioned? She is in here though. So there is that, and I really, really enjoyed this book. I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was super cute. I would read it again, and I don't know, it's not Christmassy, but in the Christmas season, if you like light, fluffy, reads with some sort of seriousness and really good characters and a nice sweet romance, I would recommend this one. You know, it's not Christmas, but maybe you don't like Christmas books or something. Or, you know, you can't find any. Or you just want something light to read. I would highly recommend this book. And yeah, I am definitely going to be looking out for this author's other works too. Yeah, I'm definitely going to try them at some point. So, anyways, that's all from me for today. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know down below in the comments if you've heard of this series, of this book, if you've read it, if you think it sounds interesting, if you think my review did it justice, if you have read it. Yeah, just let me know down below in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!